Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Rig It with the Coach here at Big Bite Baits. It's Monday, Brandon, and it's raining outside and the sun's shining.
Yeah.
You know, where I came from, where I grew up in Central Alabama, we call that the devil beating his wife with a frying pan. Have you ever heard that?
Absolutely, 100%.
So anyway, we got it raining cats and dogs outside, and we're gonna talk a little bit about fishing bait. So anyway, so let's just get right into the baits today and talk a little bit about some things I wanted to share, and then you've got some questions I believe for me. But first thing up, the hats. This hat has been already in stock, but we now have plenty of them in stock. It's my favorite Paragon hat. Now we have plenty of those, so if you'd like to order one of those, I know it's been out of stock for a while, but we now have it, and would love to sell you one, no doubt. So just check with us on the website, and they're ready to go anyway. Pretty comfortable hat, no doubt.
$24.99.
$24.99. So definitely get you one. All right, baits today. So I want to kind of keep in line and talk about our new smelling types and Scentsation baits. And so today I picked a Somali to talk about. Okay, and the Somali is kind of a little flatworm looking bait. It's got a flat side that gives it some action. It's kind of neat. And of course, obviously, if I were going to fish this, I'd probably fish it on a drop shot rig. And as you can see, the bait there, as you look at it, kind of a neat looking deal. Comes in 10 colors. And I just think that's an ideal drop shot bait. You could probably also use that bait on a Ned rig and get away with it, I would think, or on a shorty head maybe. But definitely for sure drop shot it. And that's one of those can't miss smallmouth baits. I know just from experience of using some of our other shapes like the Limit Maker and the Somali Smasher, or now the Sensation Smasher.
Sure.
That's a can't miss. So
yeah,
definitely. That flat-sided bait seems to do real well when you're around smallmouth.
Yeah, I know our feedback from the pros, they like to use it looking at fish on live scope, so clear water, if you're fishing for spots or largemouth.
I know they were all headed that way to fish Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yeah, and they were all wanting this particular bait to carry with them. So something to think about anyway. And now that is presently in stock. That's a good thing. Give me an update on that Sensation. Now, I know we have this shape in stock. Any other? We have a few things in some of the other shapes. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're getting some skinny sticks in stock, and there's a couple other shapes coming in.
And it's all slowly coming in. So hopefully by the 1st of September we'll have everything except for the ram tail. It's going to be a while on it yet, but anyway. So I know this is definitely in. If you want to order these, they're on the website. It's a go. So
that's right.
The Somali. Anyway, check that out. It's got that smell. So all right. The second thing I wanted to hit today is the B5 line through. Now has a bigger brother. We have the B6 line through. Bait that Russ Lane engineered. The line goes through it and you can tie a treble hook on the end of it. I did a little video at iCastle, Russ, about this bait. If you're interested in see how to rig it and talk about more, you can go find that video online and look at it. But he gives the hook size and type of line he likes to use with it. But that's a 6-inch model. Now we kept 5 of the original colors in stock, and we've added 3 new colors. And of course, the one I'm holding in my hand is the Sunny Shad. And then we've got the Light Shad, which is kind of a clear with a white belly and silver and red gills. And then, of course, the Hitch, which has the gray back and the blue line and a silver belly. So it's kind of interesting. So we have it in 3 new colors: Sunny Shad, Light Shad, and Hitch. Something to look at.
Yep, and they'll be available in both the B5 and the B6.
B5 and the B6, the new colors will be. Right. And, of course, the B6 is not totally in stock yet, but it's on the way. But that's a neat bait. Think you'll like that if you try it. It has a real good action.
Sort of hold a B5 there so they can get a profile.
Yeah, it's quite a bit larger if you can see with it in the clam. It's an inch larger. I actually saw this swim in the tank, and I like the way it swims better than I do the way this one swims. So something, food for thought anyway. But it all depends on how big a swim bait you like to use.
And it'll come with a hook and everything.
Comes with a hook ready to go. That's right. So anyway, that's got that for the baits today. All right, I know you got questions because I saw you over there playing with it. Let's talk about them.
All right, so let's see. Joseph Does Everything was wondering about another one of the new Sensation baits, the Quarantine Crawl.
Yeah.
And what's our favorite way to rig it?
If you ask me my favorite way to rig it, of course, I hadn't had the luxury of fishing it yet, but I think that the way I would like to rig it's on a stand-up fin twist head. I just think that thing, you can get it to stand up and it gets that flapping, it's going to be deadly on our lake where we like to fish. Just in talking with Drew, he likes it on a Ned rig. He likes to use it as a trailer. He likes to stand up, shaky headed. He likes to do all kinds of different things with it. So from that standpoint, that's kind of what I think. But I think my first choice would be to put it on a shaky head. I just think where I like to fish and where you fish as well,
Sure.
I think it'll make fish bite.
Absolutely. Let's see, and we had Caden King. He was wanting to know if we ever made saltwater lures.
We do make saltwater lures, Caden. We have a small offering of saltwater baits. I'm going to take a second and turn to it in the catalog so you can see it. It comes in a blue bag. I don't saltwater fish, but I do know that I have several friends that like to use our saltwater series. And you think, oh, there it is. You think I can be able to turn to it. Just find our owner's picture in the catalog. And as you can see, we make a shrimp. We make a shrimp tail. We make a jerk minnow with either a forked tail or a club tail on it. And then we also have the suicide shad that we make in the saltwater shape. So definitely, and the key to finding our saltwater baits, look for that blue bag. It's in a blue bag rather than in a regular bag.
That's
and
right.
It appears on page 44 and 45 in the catalog. So
If they want one of those, they can request one on the website as well.
sure, if you want a catalog, you request one on the website. We'd love to send you one.
That's right. Let's see. Cole Painter was wanting to know, what are the best baits that you like to use if you're looking to get a big bite?
Get a big bite. Well, I think that's got a lot to do with preference, but I do think that big fish do bite certain baits better. Obviously, if you kind of look at the statistics of BASS, they like a big swim bait. That's obvious. That's been real good, in tournaments in the past. I think the key to getting a big bite bait is just using something that's bulky. I think I've always lived by the adage, and I think there's some truth to this: the bigger the bait, the bigger the fish. I do think you're more apt to catch a bigger fish on a bigger, bulkier bait than you are a small fish. But that's not to say a Somali wouldn't catch a 10-pounder too. Sure. It also has to do with the environment I think you're in. But I know that where we fish here, we normally try to fish big things for big fish.
Sure.
And that's kind of how I was trained to fish, and I think a lot of guys would tell you the same thing. So, you can use something big like that 10-inch worm we talk about all the time. I've caught some big ones on it. I mean, the biggest fish I ever caught came off a big magnum lizard. So I just think that, it depends, but I do think the bigger the better.
Absolutely. All right, and let's see, we had a couple guys, both Maxton Ferreira and Lamp Daddy, kind of similar questions. Want to know, how can they test new baits, or can they have free baits? So
right, I think we got a little offer going on right now on the internet. I'm gonna let you elaborate on that in just a second, because you're more familiar with that than I am. But I know that we're doing something where you check a box and go from there.
Yeah, so right now what we've got going on
Excuse me.
with the Scentsation plastic line that we're doing is you can go on our website and you'll see it come in and out of stock probably because we've got people wanting to do it, but you can get a free pack. It's just not a certain shape. It's just kind of at random, and each pack will have a variety of the new Sensation colors in there.
Okay, so kind of like our classic sample pack that we usually give away at our functions.
Sure, yeah, this will have probably 5 or 6 pieces in the bag, and it'll be sealed like the regular ones, but it'll just be a variety of colors and just one shape in there. You can add it to your cart. It's no cost, but you will have to pay shipping when you do that. So, and you can only get one. So,
right.
If there's other stuff you want to try, you can grab it while you're there too.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is at least you get to look and hold the bait and smell it for sure.
Sure.
And then you can make a decision on what you might want to go with from there. So definitely.
Absolutely.
I like that idea a lot.
So you'll see that kind of come in and out, but there are more coming available.
Right,
so
right.
Just kind of keep an eye out. And let's see, your favorite question. You can go whichever way you want to for this. But
I already know the question for. Let me guess the question before you ever. What is my favorite bait? Am I right or wrong?
That's correct.
Well, I'm gonna throw them a curve today. I'm not gonna throw the same old fighting frog out there I always do. Yeah, fighting frog is a bait, but let's talk about my favorite bait this time of year right now.
Okay.
I like to either use a 10-inch worm or I like to use the big Magnum finesse worm, the 8-inch finesse worm, just to give them something a little different, because I've probably said on here 1,000 times I like a fighting frog, and I've told y'all if you can't catch a fish on a fighting frog, you probably need to quit fishing. So definitely, let's go with a 10-inch bomb worm, Magnum B2 worm, 10 B2, like a B2 bomber, and then I nicknamed it the bomb worm after the B2, and then definitely the 8-inch finesse worm. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them this time of year. Okay.
what about colors and rigging on that?
Well, I think the same old proverbial colors usually work. I mean, in the big bomb worm, I like the plum apple the best probably. I mean, I do fish other colors, but the plum apple's my favorite. And in that FW8, I like that green pumpkin Texas red. it works pretty well. And then there's some other colors there like the June bug candy and the black and the plum apple also work well in it too. So, I think that has to do with your lake. If you got really, really clear water, then obviously you wouldn't want to use black. But, if you go to somewhere that's kind of murky, then you want to do a darker color. Something to think about anyway. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Did we get any live questions by any chance today coming in? Let's hit one of those if we got one of those while we're on here.
We had Parsley Tony was wondering what's your favorite color to use in dark water?
I like either black and blue or black neon, black and red. That's pretty much proverbial. And then, of course, if I'm using a moving bait, I like that flamethrower red. That works pretty good too. So definitely some colors to look at.
And let's see, Monkey Paw Tackle was asking, what's your favorite swim jig trailer?
Oh, I have bumped that around so much, but I think we finally hit a home run on that. That Kamikaze Crawl, if you want something that puts up some action and some flap, and I like to have flapping behind my swim jig, and I want it kicking, and that's the bait. It kicks tremendously well, and it's easy to rig on there, and it's the perfect size. You don't have to do a lot of changing. However, when I was talking to Dean at iCast, when I interviewed him, he talked about clipping that thing down just a little bit and making it just a little bit shorter. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I had never tried that, but definitely that bait for sure. And, if you want something that's more subtle, then I guess you could go with a swim on or maybe the new split tail swim on. But I like that kicking action when I'm fishing a swim jig. It just seems to work, especially if you're moving along and you kill it and let it fall, then it gets that flapping action. It looks really good.
I agree. 100%.
So definitely. Well, I think that's probably all we got today. Anyway, it looks good, and we'll continue each week to bring some more about this new Scentsation series in, and then try to throw some of the new baits of the other colors in. But remember the Somali today, and then your B5 and B6 line through swim bait. And until next week, y'all have a good day.